So obviously now we have the squad. We've known for quite a while, sort of who England are taking over to India. And one of the nice additions to the squad was our good friend Mr. Ben Foakes, who is back in the England squad after he was wrongly dismissed. Well, not wrongly. I'm just being dramatic, but you know what I mean. He should have been in the squad. We've said this before on this podcast that he's England's best wicket-keeper. He should be behind the
He's the
stumps.
most handsome man in the England
Um,
team.
exactly. I mean, other players might have their own argument for that, but they can. That's up to them. They can sort it themselves.
It's
But
subjective, it's opinion, and our opinion is he's the most handsome man in the squad. So there we go.
exactly, that's all we can do. So Fox is in the squad, um, but obviously this is England, and it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't play or if he played maybe one game,
Mm.
because I just have this feeling that we're going to keep Bairstow behind the stumps. As much as I like Bairstow as a batsman, I think he's an okay keeper. But I can't, especially the fact that you got folks in the squad. I won't be able to get my head around the fact that you've got him not playing just so you can kind of crowbar Bairstow in behind the stumps. I don't like it. It's been one of the more frustrating selection decisions what England have made in recent years, and yeah, I think it's going to make it even worse. The fact that if he's named in the squad and he's travelled and then he doesn't play and we put Bairstow behind the stumps, because that that to me is not, it's not the team being set up as strong as it can be. And I think when you've got Folks and Bairstow there and you're not playing Folks, I think you're a weaker team, to be honest. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Peter, but that's where I'm coming from, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I find it. I'm really unsure at this point, and it feels weird to say it because he's in the squad, and you think if you bring him, you play him. But based on what England have done in the past, and based on what they've done with folks in the past, it's. I really am not sure whether he'll play or not. I really don't. My instinct says that he won't start, and he's there if things go wrong. That's my instinct. Um, but but my personal opinion is that if you bring him, you play him, because what's the point in bringing him if you're not going to play him? If you don't
Hmm.
bring him and you're going to play Bairstow, then Folks could have been an extra batter. He could have been an extra bowler. He could have been an extra all rounder. He could have been anything rather than a wicketkeeper that's literally just there to make up the numbers. If he's not going to play, that's what he's there for, making up the numbers. Um, it's the equivalent of bringing or buying an incredibly talented central midfielder in football and sticking him on the bench for most of the important games in the cycle. You know, we just wouldn't do it really. Um, I think I think folks as a keeper, obvious. Well, actually, obvious. It's not even. I think it's kind of obvious that Foakes is a better keeper. Foakes is one of the best goalkeepers. Foakes is. Do you know he's probably a good goalkeeper? To be fair, he's one of the best wicket keepers in the world, and I think he would he get in the Australia team? Yeah, probably. Would he get in the South Africa team? Yeah, probably. Would he get in the India team? Certainly, because I think without Rishabh Pant, they kind of India have got three wicket keepers in their side, which kind of suggests that they don't know who to bring as their wicket keeper.
Yeah.
So I think he obviously gets in the India team, and that speaks kind of testament to his skill. Um, I think I think I would be playing him because he's there, but I wouldn't be surprised if he at least doesn't start the first test. And if things go wrong for Jonny in the first two tests, maybe, then he gets the nod for the final three. That's what my thinking is at the
Mm.
moment. But it's a hunch. It's nothing based on absolutely nothing really.
Yeah, and that would be a shame, to be honest, because I think Ben Folks is a much better player than that. I think you know, he doesn't deserve to be kind of the guy to come in and kind of bail someone else out. I think for me, he should be in that starting 11, or he should be in that. That sounds like football again. He should be in in the team for that first test.
I think
And I think
the issue is that England feel that they have to get Jonny Bairstow in the team. And
yeah,
I don't have much issue with that because of what Johnny's done in Bazball era cricket. I don't have a lot of issue with that notion that we have to get him in. But England's thinking is that if we put Foakes in, then Johnny has to go in somewhere else, and then that makes a difference with, well, does that mean Harry Brook doesn't go in? Wow, and then Harry Brook hasn't done a lot wrong. Does that mean that Joe Root goes to number 3 and Ollie Pope drops out? Well, Ollie Pope was doing all right before he got injured in the Ashes. Does that mean that um, even Crawley or Duckett have to drop out for someone to come in? If they're not going to play him, they might as well have not brought him along, because it's now just created a headache that we didn't really need. You know what I mean? Um, it's hard. I don't know what you think on that front, but I think it's just hard.
yeah, it is tough. And I think if there was a way of, you know, if there was an easy way to get Foakes and Bairstow and all of the other talented England batters in the same team, then it wouldn't be a point for discussion. It would be a pretty disappointing subject on a podcast because it would last about a minute because you just go, well, they're all in, and that's it. But obviously,
Yeah,
the problem is that, yeah, I mean, I don't like any talk of moving Joe Root around the order. I think we've done that before, and you know, it's not worked. It might have worked in spells, but number 4 is Joe Root's position.
yeah.
He's
There's
he's played his best cricket for England at number 4, so you don't want to move him around there.
Well, yeah,
And
I don't understand. I've heard a lot of people saying that you put your best batter at 3. Well, I don't. I can't think of a team in the world that has their best batter at 3. Steve Smith was the best batter for Australia until he's now. I say was because he's now moved to open, but in the past he was number 4. Virat Kohli, forgive me if I'm not mistaken, bats 4. Kane Williamson
yeah,
bats 4.
mhm,
You know,
yeah,
the
there's
point of number 4 is that your best batter comes in when the ball is less hard, less swingy, whatever you want to call it, and takes advantage of it because they're your best batter. You don't you don't put them up against the new ball, Steve Smith. You don't put them up against the new ball, supposedly. I don't know. Sorry, I interrupted. Carry on.
no, I mean, all good points. There is a reason that those sorts of players don't get moved around.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They
Yeah,
get stuck. They fit in their position, and from there they can kind of, I mean, how many times have those players you've listed? How many times have they dictated an innings and basically bailed their team out from number 4? They've come in and they've kind of overseen. You know, there's been a bit of a collapse, kind of above them and below them. But then, how many times do you see them kind of come in with someone from the lower middle order, and all of a sudden it's back on track, and it's because they've had the time and the confidence to know that when they come in and bat in their position, they're at home and they could bat for hours, and obviously a lot of the time they do.